would I behave the way that they are behaving? What I've learned is nobody ever starts with themselves. And if you actually just start with yourselves, you will save yourself thousands. Oh my God, the day that I deleted the app, like it felt like $1 million or £1 million. But I'm gonna politely say no. I'm gonna politely say I don't think you're ready.
I was like, fuck yes, that's it.
You don't need to be the loudest person in the room. Whatever it is that you're doing, stop right now, okay?
Welcome back to Unfuck Your Flow and Take Action. This is the podcast for you if you are a businesswoman who wants to create a life and a business by design. You want freedom, flexibility and flow, but perhaps without the procrastination, the overwhelm and the usual shiny object syndrome. My name is Alice Dartnell and I am a time and energy management coach, speaker and author. And welcome to this episode because today I have a fabulous guest in the form of Athena Dobson. If you don't know who this is, get ready for this episode. She is an absolute powerhouse. And when I was chatting to her, when we were setting up the arrangements for this podcast, I said to her, we obviously was spitballing ideas and stuff like that. And she said something to me that really landed. And she said, often it's not a strategy problem, it's alignment. And if you've been following my journey, you will know that I am big on energy management, alignment, regulating nervous system, subconscious work, and all that juicy stuff. So in this episode, we dive right into that. We uncover why this is important, subconscious work, what alignment actually even is, what's holding us back, and also Athena shares the question you need to ask to help you with your alignment. Alignment makes everything easier, whether that's trust, branding, impact, earning money. So get comfy, grab a cuppa, let's dive right in because this is a cracker of an episode and I am so grateful to Athena. Let's dive in. So, as I said, I am super excited today to welcome this guest. Not just a guest, a really good friend as well. And I've just been loving watching her journey as well. So, today's guest is Athena Dobson. So, you're thinking, who? Athena, oh my God, you need to know this girl if you are in property because she is a thriving property investor. She has a dynamic community called Girls in Property. And Athena made a very swift transition from a high-paying corporate job to full-time property investment in just under a year. So if anyone knows about Unfucking Your Flow and Taking Action, which is obviously what this podcast is about, this is your girl. And I know that Athena is dedicated to uniting, inspiring, empowering women in property and finance sector. And she's got her podcast, her community and events. So if you are in the property sector, please go check that out. And let's be honest, this sector is largely dominated by men. So it is just amazing to see women like Athena who are driven to help other women make informed investment decisions that align with their lifestyle goals. And you might have noticed I just used an A word there, not Alice or Athena, but the word align. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So Athena, thank you so much for being here, lovely. How are we vibing today?
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for inviting me on. And again, it's so lovely to actually be on the receiving end where I get to be the guest and ask questions because obviously I've got my own podcast. So yeah, I just love podcasting. I love chatting, and I love giving value. And hopefully we give lots of value today as well.
I'm excited for this conversation because obviously we exchanged a few messages about like the topic and stuff like that. And when you said this to me, I was like, ooh. Yes, that's it. So I'm just going to dive straight in because we were chatting and you said it's not a strategy issue, it's an alignment issue. And that instantly, because I'm all about the time, but through energy management, I was like, fuck yes, that's it. What do you mean by the word alignment though? Like, what does that actually mean? Because I think it gets thrown around quite a lot, but for you, what does that word actually mean?
In simple terms, how does something make you feel? And what are your own values? And is the actions that you are taking or the strategy you are doing or the business you are creating, does it feel good? And is it in line with your values? That's what alignment is.
Yeah. And why do you think that's so important?
Because of learned lessons, Alice. Because if you are not aligned, I think this is the number one reason why people stop what they're doing. I don't like to use the word fail. I don't like that word fail because I believe in fail forward. But this is why people literally go, they'll say to me, Athena, something feels sticky, or I'm stuck in my business, or I'm stuck in this idea, or this strategy isn't working for me. The reason the strategy is not working for you, the reason the business has not grown, is because you are not aligned with it. You don't believe in it. It doesn't feel good. And I think that when I first started in my property, and anyone who's listening to this will either go through this if they're looking to get into it, I'm sure, or they've already been through it, which is you see everyone who is selling this dream online and they'll say, get rich quick in 90 days. They'll say to you, anyone can do this. Yeah, anyone can do this. Yeah, anyone can do this. Property is easy. So what you do is you start to get shiny penny syndrome. You learn about these different strategies. You learn about buy-to-lets. You learn about commercial conversions. You learn about serviced accommodation, HMOs. And then you end up going and spending about, on average, $2,500 to go to 3 days to each of these. And you go to each one, and each time you go, you think to yourself, I could do that strategy. No, I could do that strategy. No, I could do that strategy. And I was this girl. The reason I'm saying this is because I was this girl, and I get DMs every single day from other women who do the exact same thing. It's like a conveyor belt. But what happens is what I've learned is nobody ever starts with themselves. And if you actually just start with yourselves, you will save yourself thousands. Because if you go, well, hold on, what is my end goal? What am I trying to achieve out of this? What is it that I'm looking for? Because sometimes it's not that actually that you need the cash flow from property. You're actually looking for generational wealth. You're actually looking to have a purpose, to actually leave a legacy behind. Like, what is it you're trying to do? And for me, I jumped into rent to rent because I believed that I could get rich quick. I believed that it was easy to get into, but I actually had money in the bank. And so I was like, I started this rent to rent journey, and actually I learned very, very quickly that it wasn't for me, even though it was the thing that actually enabled me to leave my job, because my values didn't align to it. I hated being rejected. Like, rejection is a massive part of rent to rent. I couldn't stand it. I hated people saying no to me. I hated having to answer to landlords. I couldn't stand pretentious tenants. And so it constantly felt every single morning that I was waking up like an uphill battle. I was like, I know I'm supposed to do this, but I don't want to do this. And I'll never forget the day, fast forward, that my business partner at the time said to me, Athena, I don't think you want to do this anymore. And I said to her, I don't want to do this. And she's like, then stop doing it. And I thought, you're so right. Like, why am I doing this? You're so right. And then I said to myself, well, what is it I actually love? What is it I actually want to do? And of course, my soul's mission, and I believe this with the work that I'm doing in the subconscious work, my soul's mission is to empower other women to believe in themselves, to feel like they can achieve anything. And I've been there, I've done it, I've felt it, and I just want to help women in this industry to feel seen, safe, and heard. That's my alignment, and that's my soul's purpose.
I love that, and it's so true, because I do a lot of strategy sessions with people when they join my community. We start off with a strategy session because I need to know, what is it you want? Like, what are we working towards? Because I can't help you in the community with the accountability and the procrastination and the faffing and all that if I don't understand where you're going. I'm very conscious to find out, like, what is their end goal, what is their values, what is their lifestyle. Have you just had a baby, or are your kids older? Like, what's going on? And it's so important. I think sometimes we forget that, and I definitely grew up in that hustle culture of, like, rise and grind. You just do the work, like, discipline. And actually, okay, that's important, but sometimes we need to take a step back. And what's the bigger picture, and what's our values, and what's our lifestyle, and how does it want to align, and all those kind of things. And we sometimes forget to do that. Like, we go straight into, like, the hard stuff, the strategy stuff. And so yeah, I love that you said that. And for you, obviously, you're talking from experience here. Like, you're not talking from textbook. Like, this is your own journey, your own aha. So was it kind of like a ping, like, wake up call, or was it kind of a slow, over time builder of a lesson that you were like, it's not about strategy, it's about alignment?
Well, so what happened was, the day that basically I left the rent-to-rent business, first of all, I have never felt a weight lifted lifted on me like I did, like lifted off of me the
Yeah,
day
like,
that
make
I
a
literally
sign.
walked away. Oh my God, the day that I deleted the app that was managing those tenants, and the day that a landlord messaged me and I literally replied going, sorry, that business is now dissolved. Like, it felt like $1 million or £1 million. Why am I being American? £1 million. Because I literally was like, oh my God, I don't have to do this anymore. Like, this is incredible. And as soon as you I say this word quite a lot, as soon as you give yourself permission, right? I feel people wait to be given permission in life. Girls, if you're listening to this, guys, give yourself permission today to say no. This isn't what I want. This isn't how I want to do business. Doesn't make me feel good. And then what happened was I said I didn't want to do that. So then actually this whole alignment thing didn't come to me. I was actually really stuck in a rut. I was like, well, hold on, if that's not what I want to do, what is it that I actually want to do? And so I actually started joining quite a lot of female mastermind groups. And within those groups, naturally, and I had no idea about this, Alice, whatsoever, but naturally within these female mastermind groups, you have quite intuitive women, very intuitive women who were really starting to talk to me, asking me questions which I've never been asked in my life. And they were asking me, well, how do you want to feel when you wake up? What is it that you want? What are you seeking, Athena? And so I went down this rabbit hole, like the Matrix, of actually starting to learn all about subconscious work and understanding about how I'm wired as a person from birth and how what's actually happened to me in life has made me the version that showed up who hustle, grind, because that's how I showed up in business, right? Just for a bit of background, I was a premium travel sales consultant. I was the girl that was always at the top of the leaderboard. I was the girl that smashed every record. I was the girl that got promoted at such a young age and then become a sales coach. Like, I was raised to be, you work hard, you hustle, you grind, you succeed. If you're doing well, I'm proud of you. That's how I was raised, right? And then I sort of took a step back and I went, I don't think I want to be that girl. I think I want to be a girl that stands at the corner going, actually, can we just take a moment to go, you don't have to do that. Like, how do we feel about this? And actually, do you know, since then, I have just exploded because, like, in the most wonderful way, people have now started saying to me, Athena, I really see you. I see your purpose. I see you as a human being. And do you know what's been even more amazing, Alice? Because it's important to celebrate this. You know, on my podcast, I celebrate this all the time. Girls, when you align yourself so much with who you are as a brand, as a mission and everything, my retreat that's in April, before I've even announced the speakers, anything, my sponsors have all sold out. It's gone. It's sold out because people are like, Athena, we're so aligned with you and we're so aligned in your mission that we don't care who's speaking. We don't care. As long as you're doing it, we know it's going to be great. And do you know, it's the best feeling in the world because the best feeling in the world is when you can wake up, you can make a difference, you can create impact and you can make money. Because money's important, right? And it's important to talk about making money. But it's more about what the money is then going to do. Like, what do you want the money for? Where do you want to go? What do you want to, like, I always say, like, I want to love the life I live. So therefore, let's do that. And that's where having an alignment is so important in what you're doing. And so when people say to me, I feel stuck, I feel like this isn't working, I feel like this isn't for me, I'm like, it's because you have an alignment issue. So let's get you back on track. And, you know, that's why I started this year, Alice, and I'm one of the only people in the industry to now do this, where I now have my accelerator program for the girls, where I'm teaching soul and strategy alignment in property. So we take 6-month program, and on week 1, we do all about strategy on week 1. So I'll be talking through sales confidence, visibility, different strategies, landlord negotiation, anything, data, whatever it may be. And then the 3rd week, my subconscious coach, who literally is my subconscious coach, Akhtar Khan, who I work now and collaborate with, takes them through their subconscious belief about that particular thing. So for example, let's say we're doing visibility, social media, and we're talking about getting visible, attracting investors. The subconscious work we'll do in that exact month will be, why are you afraid to be visible? What is it that's stopping you from being visible? And then what you do is, as you beautifully said, Alice, as your title of your podcast, you unfuck your flow, right? And so, and that's what you do. You literally take yourself and go, I'm going to rewrite that narrative. I'm going to rephrase that. And now the results have been incredible. They're out there like getting investors and taking on that client because they're not blocked anymore.
And it probably feels easier and more fun.
Yeah. Make business fun, Alice. Like when did we stop having fun?
Do you know what? That's so true. I think it is because that is hustle culture of like, rise and grind, sleep when you're dead, and like you got to hustle, and so I think there's an element of that. Sometimes you can't be arsed, and you do need to kick yourself up the arse. But I think we went too far that end, and then it was kind of like actually that's just like a one-way ticket to burnout and being unhappy. And I think we then dejected fun out of business and actions, and it became very hard and heavy. Like that's the way to grind to success, and it doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I completely agree with you. I mean, reality check is that every week and every month there are different seasons. So I understand that at certain times you might need to just push a little harder than other months, and you might be able to pull back on other months. Like, I understand that. If there's an important refurb that needs doing, if there's an important sale that needs going through, if there's, in my world, if there's an important event that's coming up, you might need to just work that little bit harder, and therefore you have that, and I understand that therefore there is that grind and let's just get to it, we've got a deadline, let's work. But the difference is I think that burnout actually comes, and this is one thing that I've only just learned very recently, Alice, very recently, is somebody once said to me that burnout only actually comes when you're not aligned in what you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you're burnt out because you're not loving it. And I've burnt out twice, by the way. I've burnt out twice. I didn't learn my lesson the first time. I did it again. Horrendous experience. I don't recommend it. But I think
really
now...
Sorry, lovely, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, like, now I am actually in a particular stage of my life at the moment, because the event's coming up. I've got a brand new website coming up, a funnel system. I'm working like the clackers to get it all finished. But I'm not burnt out because I understand the purpose of why I'm doing it. So there's a burnout difference there. What were you going to say, Alice?
Totally agree, because I burnt out horrifically in 2019, which is what led me to this belief that I've got now that time management isn't about managing time, it's your energy. Because I had amazing work-life balance. I had a corporate job, I did my 9 to 5, I got a very good paycheck, I shut the laptop at 5, see you later. But it didn't fill my soul. And then, because I had this pressure to like tick all the boxes, I got up at 5 a.m. to do my miracle morning, and, I made sure I went to the gym 5 times a week, and, I made sure I did this for the in-laws, and it was just tick boxes. So from the outside, it probably looked like I had my shit together and I was really disciplined and motivated, but I wasn't. I actually was just ticking boxes for the sake of like, these are the boxes that I've got to tick. Was it aligned? No. Do I work longer hours now having my own business? Fuck yes. But I haven't burnt out in the last 4 or 5 years because I fucking love what I do. And I'm in the season of growth at the moment as well. Like, I've just announced the big business breakthrough event, getting 2 podcasts off the ground, boarding a new VA, like all these big things are happening at once, selling this house. And it's like, but I don't feel burnt out because I'm waking up excited, being like today, like I've got 5 podcasts to record. I'm like, yeah, like I would not have woken up with that feeling like in corporate. So I think I totally agree. Like for me, hard work isn't bad. It's, for me, what's bad in air quotes is the hustle when it feels like it's a grind because it's not actually what you want to do. You're just ticking the boxes like what I did because I thought that's what I should be doing because society or whatever. So yeah, I totally agree. Like absolutely, work your socks off. I'm pro that. But I'm, same camp as you, that burnout, it was because it wasn't long hours, it was misalignment.
Exactly.
Yeah. You said something really interesting earlier, I just want to circle back to about, like, alignment makes things easier. And I think that's something we don't appreciate or maybe think about. So obviously everything in life, there's going to be a degree of like hard to it. Like if you're learning a new skill or you're starting something new in your business or like literally everything, and it's always that kind of like, what's that saying? Like if it's not worth doing, it's oh, I'm so bad at sayings.
God, we're asking you. Oh God. if it's
right,
easy,
if anyone knows,
if it's easy, it's not worth.
Something
Alice,
like that.
We're dreadful together. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, it's something like that. But the point being like, if it's worth having, put a bit of fucking effort into it. I think that's what the person was trying to
Basically.
get across. Yeah, yeah. I've just absolutely butchered this, probably like this Greek philosopher, so soz. But anyway, I think it's so true because interested what you said about your sponsorship and your events. But when I just said to people, I've got this crazy idea, I'm back in the UK, didn't expect to be here, I'm going to run this big business breakthrough event. I had the same, and people started approaching me saying, oh, you'd give for speakers and sponsors. I hadn't said anything. All I said was the title of the event and who it was for. And then suddenly all these people started coming to me going, oh, you'd give for speakers, you did. And I was like, oh, and it did at first make me just go, what the fuck? Like, because you have that little bit of imposter syndrome, go, oh, little old me. But I think you're right, it's about the alignment, because I love what I do. I'm very clear who I'm helping. I'm clear on my mission. I'm clear on my soul's purpose. So actually, when you say that, it's like, well, that makes obvious sense that people are coming to me and asking this, because it's about that trust and the brand and the impact, and people want to be part of that because you're in alignment. They can feel it. They can see it. So what you just said there, I was like, huh, yeah, interesting. That's so true.
It's 100% something that I'm just blessed that I worked it out, and I really hope that that's a nugget that people take away, because I think that you don't have to be the loudest person in a room. I think that's the thing that I've learned actually, is you don't need to be the loudest person in the room. You could be stood in a sea of people and you could be stood in the corner completely on your own, but you will literally be a beacon of light if you are aligned, and you will attract your tribe because they will feel the frequency of you, they will feel the energy of you, and they will stand with your mission. And you know what? I've learned more than ever before now that if a person doesn't stand by my side or aligned with my mission, that's absolutely no problem whatsoever. That's because they're just destined for a different purpose. And that's great. I wish them well. And I think the beauty of it is, people say to me, Alice, I don't know if you have this, people say to me all the time, oh, aren't you worried about the competition? Aren't you worried about all those other property female networks out there? And they send me stuff all the time going, look at your competition. And I'm like, babe, there is no competition. Why is there competition? Because they have their own tribe. They have their own people where they align with their values of how they run things. They are completely different to my values, totally different to who I am as a person. And therefore, why can't...
Like, you
why can't we both do well? And you know what I always say to people? The more the merrier. Like, in this particular industry, Alice, it's so male heavy. I want other female networks. I want women to thrive. I want women to succeed. So I think it's just a great thing. I really do. And I think that, again, it's this aspect of when you're thinking about who to align with yourself, look at a person and go, do you know what the question I ask myself? I tell you the exact question I actually ask myself.
Question, yes.
Okay, here's my question. Write this down, listeners. Would I behave the way that they are behaving? Would I behave? Would I do what they are doing? And if something feels a bit off there and you're like, I don't like the way that person behaved, I don't like the way that what that person is doing, you listen to that gut. Because I'm telling you, that gut is screaming at you saying, you do not align with this person. Something is not right here. Do not ignore that.
I know it gets branded a lot, you know, just thrown around, like, but the whole your vibe attracts your tribe, like, I really, really do believe in that. And I like that question that you said, because actually that is a good indicator, like, is this person part of my tribe and vice versa? And that's not to say we've got to be carbon copies of everyone, but, you know, the values and whatnot have got to align, which actually just makes me think.
It's just values.
Yeah, so this is a bit of an embarrassing one, sort of. So I am recruiting for a new VA at the moment, and the agency found me a new VA. She ticked all the boxes in terms of like what I needed the requirements for. I was like, great, this is, you know, I've got really super clear as well about the job description. Anyway, she goes to start, and then the day that she starts, I get a message from the agency saying she's decided that I'm not suitable to work with because I say the word fuck a lot. And I was like, do you know what? Not offended, but I'm not going to beg her to stay. I'm not going to say, oh, do you know what? I won't swear. I know I'm a potty mouth, and my aunt tells me off all the time, but it is who I am, and I don't say it to offend people. I just use it as like an adjective. So the fact that it went against her values and her Christian ways, and I was like, do you know what? Yeah, all right, that's cool. And, you know, we will part with love. And I think had that happened maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have had such bad rejection around it and been like, I'm such a bad person. And now I'm like, that's cool. Like, if I'm attracted to tribe and we're not meant to be in the same tribe, and that's okay. Like, I don't want to offend her and she doesn't want to offend me. So, you know, we're not going to be in each other's tribe, and that's cool.
Do you know what? I absolutely love that example for two reasons. Number one, from her perspective, I have full respect for her.
Me too.
Full respect. Because number one, she basically turned down money because of her values. Because she sat and went, do you know, this doesn't align with me. This doesn't sit right with me. And I'm going to politely decline. First of all, I want to know who this VA is. She sounds fantastic. Love her. But second of all, full respect to you, Alice, to go, well, I can't change who I am. I'm proud of who I am. And therefore, I respect the fact this doesn't work. And that's okay. And do you know what? I think the more we just say, that's cool, that's fine, no problem, like, I wish you well. I think that's such a healthy way to live. Really healthy way to live.
That's just made me think, by you going, who is this VA? Like, actually, you know, if somebody said to me, oh, do you know a good tech VA in the Philippines? And I'd be like, I do actually. Yeah. You know, obviously making sure they didn't F-bomb as much as me. But it's, like you say, I've got so much more respect for her. And going back to, you know, what you touched on about money and alignment and stuff like that, like, I've had a couple of people approach me as a speaker for the Big Business Breakthrough event, and I've politely turned them down because I don't think they're going to deliver or align to what my mission of that event is and the women in the room. And I've just had to politely say thank you, but I don't think this is going to be right for either of us. And I had another person as well submit some like suggestions and stuff, and I was like, and again, it's that feeling, isn't it? And I was like, do you know what? I don't think that's going to work. However, though, because she wanted to do stuff around ADHD and neurodiversity, whilst I'm still back in the fucking UK and not in Bali, I am actually going to be running an ADHD event in November. And I haven't worked it out yet. It's just still a little idea in my head, but I'm thinking, right, Ideas Fest, November 2026. You heard it here first, peeps. But her title and her suggestions, I was like, that would fit for that event. Not for this one, not that. So do you know what I mean? So it's that alignment, rather than just go, oh, yes, go on then, because I'll take anybody. You know, it weren't aligned. So it's like, it's a no for this, but it's a yes for that over there.
There you go.
And
there you go.
So, yeah, I love that.
There you go. Honestly, for me, it's been a game changer. And I think as soon as the penny drops and as soon as you do the work and you do the work on yourself, like, I almost feel, if I'm completely honest with you, Alice, and this is me just bearing my soul, I think I was scared at the beginning. I think I was scared to actually look within me. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, to look within, to go like, who the hell am I? Like, because I think that what happened to me was, and I bet a lot of people can relate to this, I was on a complete hamster wheel. And I was, if anything, I actually worked so hard to distract myself from life, where you literally just like, you keep going, because if you keep going, you don't have to stop and answer questions. You don't have to stop and actually tell someone how you truly feel about something. And so I was that absolute meme from Ross from Friends. I am the meme from Ross from Friends. When people say to me, are you okay? And I go, I'm fine. Like, I am the walking meme of that, right? And do you know what? The friends that know me really well will always ask it twice. They'll say, you okay? And I'll go, I'm fine. And they'll go, Athena, are you okay? And I'll go, actually, no, I'm not okay. And they'll always ask me twice, right? And I was that girl that just kept going. And actually, the hardest work to do and the bravest work to do is when you stop and you look within yourself to go, does this align with me? Is this who I am as a person? Okay, I might have to take a knock on this. Okay, I might have spent thousands already in training and education. But do you know what? I'm actually going to choose me. I'm actually going to choose not to do that. And actually, the bravest thing to do is to say no and choose that you don't want to do something. And it's easier to say that you are going to do something.
I'm nodding along because that was definitely my story as well. This masking of my insecurities and not liking who I am and thinking that I could outrun it with hard work. Because if I just, you know, I had a good job and I think, again, from the outside, I probably ticked a lot of society's boxes. Like, I had a really A good, well-paid job for someone my age. I was married, I had the house, I had the car, the fancy holidays. I was on this charity board, did kickboxing competitions. Like, life was full, really buzzing social life. But actually, I was just working hard because I never wanted to stop and hear the thoughts in my head. Like, I didn't want to stop to listen what was actually going on. And because I suffered so badly with depression and an eating disorder in my 20s, from 25 to 35, I think I definitely was in that, I don't ever want to go back to that space, so I'm just going to work hard so that I don't have to listen to the negative thoughts in my head. So that's really fucking, like, yeah, I'm really like nodding along to what you're saying there, because I get it. And it's like you distract yourself with that hard work, because then you don't have to stop and ask the real questions of, is that aligned? Does that feel right? Is that right for me?
But do you know what, Alice? When you stop and you ask yourself that question, right? That's when your actual life changes.
Yes, yeah. And I really feel, as cheesy as this is, I'm hitting 40 obviously this year. Obviously, this is everyone's opportunity to insert, oh, you don't look a day over 21. Yeah, hitting 40 this year.
Hint.
And I'm like, I actually genuinely feel like life is only just beginning. And obviously I've had the divorce and stuff like that. But yeah, I genuinely feel, because now I'm in alignment. I know who I am. Pros, but I know my flaws, and you know, I'm okay with certain things, and I know my mission, like all these alignment things. And I'm like, oh yeah, like it's only just getting going. Like, I'm excited. But I actually shared this on Instagram as well, and you know, I make no secret of it. This time last year, I was not in a good place, and I didn't realise. And from the outside, you know, yeah, I was in Cambodia. It was sunny. You know, before we jumped on here, we were bitching about the weather. Like, you know, it was sunny. I was sipping my coconuts, and you know, like, life probably looked great. Like, look, she's with her laptop by the pool, you know, having all this lovely experience. But actually, it wasn't in alignment to who I am and what I want to do and what I'm trying to achieve, and the drama with my family and stuff like that. And I had to ask myself those difficult questions, and I suddenly realised I wasn't happy and I wasn't in alignment with who I wanted to be, and I had to leave. I did it within 2 weeks, which I don't recommend to people, but you know, moving country in 2 weeks is never advised. But I think you're right. Sometimes you have to really look at, like, am I being true to myself? Like, is this in alignment? And sometimes the answer is no, and you've got to make that change. So yeah, I love that.
I think that's so brave of you. I really do. And do you know one of the things I'm most proud of at the moment? And I'd say it, like, people say to me, like, what are you proud of, Athena, at the moment? Do you know what I'm really proud of? This is going to sound bizarre, what I'm going to say, right? But it's important I say it. I've been saying no to so many people recently. That's what I'm proud of. So, for example, I get people who ask me to mentor them all the time. And I never forget, this girl was like, I mean this with like heart and soul, right? She was like coming for me, literally like desperate for me to mentor her, like every day messaging me. And I sent her a voice note. And this voice note, I said, and I remember I said these words, I said to her, this is going to be very strange for you to hear. And this is actually going to go against everything you think is actually a normal thing to do. But I'm going to politely say no. I'm going to politely say, I don't think you're ready. And I don't think that this is the right path for you right now. And I gave her the reason I said that is because she came from a place of desperation. She came from a place where she literally was like, she kept saying to me, I need this to work. I need this to happen. I need this to be this. And I'm like, no, girl, no, stop. You need to rewire how you're speaking, because I said to her, if I mentor you, you've already told yourself that this isn't going to work. And when this doesn't work, you are going to find someone to blame, and you are going to use me, and you're going to blame me. And girl, I ain't here for that energy. I don't need it. So I said no. I turned down money because, and do you know what she replied to me? You're 100% spot on. Thank you for being so honest. I need to go and just figure things out. I'll come back to you. And I said, girl, I'm here when you're ready.
Yeah.
And that's my proudest thing. I'm saying no to people.
Yeah. And it's so true, because when you got your own business as well, it's easy to go, oh, I've just lost X amount of money, or
totally
whatever.
That was 12 grand gone, finished, boom. Like, I turned it down because I was like, no, because it's not right for you and it's not right for me, and it doesn't, like, so what, like, money doesn't mean anything if it's not done. It almost becomes dirty. It becomes like dirty money, and I have no interest in that. No, I have no interest in it. I want money that feels great when it hits my account, that I go, fuck yes. you know? Not like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. No way.
Oh my God, I love it. I could talk to you I could talk to you for hours anyway, because I love you.
I know we're awful.
Yeah, no, but this topic, I always say that I'm like woo and do. Like, I'm very like practical, strategic. I'm very good at like simplifying strategy for people and being like, these are your next steps. That's why people come to me. But I'm also like woo as fuck, and I'm like, get the crystals out and make sure we're all aligned. Like, so yeah, I love this so much. Just to wrap up, lovely, like, what would you, if people listening to this and they're nodding along and they're going, fuck, she is right about alignment, it's not about the strategy, what would your like last tip or wise words of wisdom be around this topic of alignment?
So, if you're unsure and you're sat there and you're stuck and you're like, Athena, I hear you, I'm stuck right now, what should I do? The first thing to do is stop. So, number one, stop. Whatever it is that you're doing, stop right now, okay? Put your pen down, stand up, take a breath, and just allow yourself, when nobody else is around, to just say to yourself, what is it that I want? What do I want to, actually ask yourself a different question. Here's a different question for you. Who do I want to become? How do I want to feel every morning? And just a caveat with this, and this is important I say this, if you'd have, and Alice knows this actually, if you would have found me a year ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, you would have found a completely different person. There is no way I would have spoken to you about standing up and asking yourself how you feel. Hell no. I'd have said, girl, you get on with it, all right? Go make your money. You know those memes that are like, get your money, honey? Like, I was that girl. I was...
Like the girls in Thailand.
Yeah. Literally, I was that girl. I was push, grind. Don't ask your feelings. Don't have... Stop. No, because you will go faster if you just stop and you just align yourself, because it will feel easier. And when something feels easier, right, it's obviously easier to push it up a hill than it is for something heavy to push it up a hill. So if you ever are stuck or misaligned, number one, do that. Number two, get yourself around like-minded women. Get yourself in rooms where people are talking about this. If you're in property, get yourself into my community, the Girls in Property community. It is £30 a month. We meet up fortnightly. We've got a whole library of content of information. We've got 120 women in there who all feel the same way. Like, honestly, put your takeaway away, invest in yourself, and get yourself in the goddamn community. Like, this is how you change your life. Take action. Do something about it. And I am passionate, and I do believe this is my soul's purpose, to help as many women as I can the right way. So my takeaway for you all will be, get aligned, take action, and if you're ever in doubt and you're like, Athena, I heard your analysis podcast, I'm still feeling stuck, send me a DM to Girls in Property or Athena Dobson _official, and literally I will talk you through it. Happy to do so.
Please do go. Even if you're not in property, by the way, please still go follow Athena.
Yeah. Even if you're not in property, like I run Girls in Property, which is a business, right? I run a community. I run a sponsored podcast. I do events. Come and talk to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note as well, I'm going to link obviously your event as well. You've got your retreat in, I want to say April in Tring. So if you're in property, you definitely need to get your ass to that. And get your ticket quick as well, because I know Athena's retreats and stuff sell out quickly. So hurry up and do that. Athena, thank you so much for this conversation. I've absolutely loved every single minute. I totally agree. I don't think it is just about the strategy. It's about the alignment as well. So thank you so much for being here. And just, I'm really, really grateful for this. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode. Oh my God, guys, how good was that episode? You know I love Athena anyway, and I could chat to her for hours. But if this episode really hit home for you and you really agree with everything we're saying, then please know you don't have to do everything alone. And on that note, this is exactly what I do inside my Business by Design community. It is the community for business women who want to do that. They are ready to unfuck their flow and take action. So if this sounds like something you would like more information on, then please just drop me a DM on Instagram or check out the show notes to find out more. And also on that note, guys, please know that the Big Business Breakthrough event is officially live. We have already sold a fifth of the tickets in less than a week. So please make sure that you check the show notes below because the early bird is currently live and I would love to see you there in London for this event.